Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to another live session in which we are going to go ahead and discuss about the third semester syllabus of BA Honors Economics. I'm going to go ahead and begin with intermediate macroeconomics. This is one of the most important subjects, even when actually all three are important, even when you have to do your MA economics entrance preparation. Very important subjects. You have to pay 100% attention in third and fourth semester. Even if you don't do your first year well, even if you don't do your third year well, the second year is the most important semester that you have to pay dedication. Now, let's go ahead and look at the course outline. The first thing that you have to go ahead and do is the labor market. Now, this is the course that we have picked from the date of meeting of July 2021. Even if this course changes, it's going to change very less. More or less, these are the important readings that you have. And the readings will remain the same. According to me, the most important book for macroeconomics throughout is Dornbusch. Whether you are from Delhi University or you are not from Delhi University, this is the most important book. Now let's look at the syllabus. So the first unit is labor market. So we want to understand what is the demand of labor, what is the supply of labor, how does the demand and supply determine equilibrium labor, what is the wage rate, whether demand depends on nominal wages, whether it is a function of W, or whether demand depends on real wages. Right? What is natural rate of unemployment? What happens when everybody is employed in the economy? And finally, how do you go from output to employment? How do you go from full employment level of output to full employment level of employment? In other words, how do you go from production function to number of people who will be employed? That relationship, we want to understand that. That is your unit 1. Let's go to the second unit now. So the second unit is going to be about aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve. Now in this, we are going to go ahead and look at, now this is very important. We are going to go ahead and we are going to start from the very beginning. So it talks about Dornbusch chapter 5 and 7, Blanchard 6, 7, and this is very important. So we are going to derive the AD curve. Now see, the AD curve is derived from the IS curve, which is derived from goods market. So we will derive the IS curve and the AD curve. Then we need to know the money market, which will give me the LM curve, which will help me derive the AD curve. Then we already know the labor market, which will give me the AS curve. So the aim is to derive the AD curve and the AS curve. And once you know this, you can know their implications like fiscal policy, monetary policy, How is this affected? How is this affected? What happens when IS is completely flat? What happens when LM is flat? What happens when LM is vertical? What happens when IS is vertical? Which policy is effective? Which is ineffective? All of that. Let's go forward. This is the second part. Then the third unit that you will study, this will be about inflation, unemployment, and expectations. By the way, if you ever do masters in economics, if you don't want to go for MBA or job, you want to do MA in economics, then in that case, this part, expectations, most important and most beautiful topic. Here we will study about what is, I will go one step ahead. So I will not only do what is in the reading, I want to teach you more than that. So we will study about, of course, what is adaptive expectation. We'll study about what is rational expectation. But we will also try and see under the two scenarios, what is its mathematical derivation. Is that fine? We will see which policy is effective in which case. So we will also go ahead and see that. Now the readings that we will be using would be Blanchard, Atfield, and Scheffrin. My suggestion is, if you are from a different university, but you have a very similar course, you're talking about all of this, then my suggestion would be to still go ahead and go through the course. The course should never ever be specific to the reading. The course should be specific to the topic that you do. The aim is for you to understand what is expectation, even if it's not from you. Supposedly, let's say that for expectation, your college recommends Don Bush. No problem. Someone else recommends Mankiw. No problem. You should aim at doing the course. You should aim at understanding what is inflation, what is unemployment, what is hyperinflation, what is the equation of the Phillips curve, all of that. That is unit 3. So if you look here closely, you will see that unit 3 has 15 lectures because of the role that expectations has to play here. And Phillips curve is equally important. So Phillips curve is related to the rational expectation theory, by the way. It's related to expectations. It depends on how people formulate their expectation. Whether I would see an inverse shape or I would see vertical Phillips curve is also dependent on what kind of expectations people have. So we will see the role of pi e, expected value of inflation, in the Phillips curve also. Next. Okay, so we have a question here. I am from Mumbai University and syllabus doesn't match. So to prepare for MA entrance. Okay, so to answer your question, even if the syllabus does not match, this is a bigger syllabus. This is the most inclusive, one of the most inclusive syllabus in the entire country. So if you think that you are learning less than what Delhi University students are learning, and you aim to crack the same entrance exam which they would be clearing, it is time to pick up on this course and to do this course, because you will be competing with the set of students who have done this course. So it's a good idea to pick up on this syllabus. Third semester is the right time to pay attention to what you would be doing in your future. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at unit 4. This is most important for your semester exam, for DSC entrance exam, ISI, JNU, IIT JAM, any entrance exam. Most important topic. What is this going to consist of? It's going to consist of the consumption mechanisms. So we want to understand what are the different consumption theories. For example, what is permanent income hypothesis? What is intertemporal? This comes as a numerical. What is intertemporal hypothesis? What is rational expectation? What is random walk? So we'll do 6 types of consumption hypothesis here. Followed by it would be our investment theory. We will do what are the determinants of business fixed investment, what is inventory investment, what is residential investment, then what is just-in-time theory. That would be the second thing. And then we will be talking about the demand of money. What is money? What are the functions of money? What is the demand of money? What is the supply of money? What is money multiplier? All of that. So this is more or less your entire syllabus. We will cover this syllabus by the end of October. We should, be very thorough with it by end of October. The aim is to cover 4 units, which is the labor market, aggregate demand and aggregate supply, unit 3, which is inflation, unemployment and expectation, and unit 4, which is microeconomic foundation. I would like to suggest that the course that we would be doing will be in a hybrid mode. That means it is going to be an online plus it is going to be recorded. So live plus recorded session. Then this course is going to give you access to some of the past year papers. We will go ahead and solve numericals. This is going to act as your base for your MA Economics entrance exam also, even if you're not from Delhi University. And you will also be given some mock tests to solve, or assignments as I call them, both. Right? You can go ahead, look at the course curriculum again on our website. And you can also go ahead and contact us at 836869. Sorry, just give me a second. Eight 836866395. You can contact us at this number. This is the first course. Now let's go ahead and look at the second course. The second course that I want to go ahead and talk about is the course related to microeconomics. Now, when it comes to the course of microeconomics, Microeconomics is basically, again, very, very important from the point of view of not only your entrance exam, but also from the point of view of your scoring in the semester. Both ways, it is very, very important. Now, you know, in microeconomics, your book variant, this is your Bible. You have to just do this book A to Z for third semester. Actually, when you come to Delhi University, they suggest doing consumer theory through variant, and they suggest doing producer theory through Snyder. My suggestion is, even if you do one book thoroughly, all the topics, it is well enough. You will clear any exam throughout PhD. There is no better book than these two books. Any exam can be cleared. Now let's talk about the consumer theory. So what will we do in consumer theory? We'll talk about preferences. So we will say whether X is preferred to Y, Y is preferred to Z. How are the preferences defined? What are the axioms of preferences? What is completeness? What is rationality? What is reflexive? What is transitive? We'll talk about preferences. Once I understand preferences, we want to represent preferences. So that is where we will talk about utility function. Then once we understand that, before this only, chapter 2, we will talk about budget constraint. So this is chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Once we understand that, we'll talk about choice, which is chapter 5. So once I know how to represent budget and how to represent utility, I must find an equilibrium condition between them. We will do that in choice. So choice is about finding out the equilibrium condition. What will I do if my IC looks like this? How is my equilibrium defined? What will I do if my IC looks like this? How is my equilibrium defined? What will I do if my IC looks like this? How is my equilibrium defined? So that will be chapter 5. Then we will talk about demand, which will be chapter 6. Then we will talk about Slutsky equation, in which we will talk about what is total effect, substitution effect, and income effect. We will calculate these effects. Slutsky can be done through two techniques, Marshallian and Hicksian. And we'll try and discuss both of them. Then we will go ahead and we will talk about buying and selling, which is going to tell you what an endowment is. Then we will talk about risk. A sure shot question comes in risk. In fact, risk is so important that every year in IIT, it comes for 4 to 5 marks. And that is not less. So if 5 marks in a paper worth 100 marks is not less. 5% allocated only to a single topic. That's too much, isn't it? So that important risk is intertemporal choice and revealed preferences. So we will talk about what is weak axiom, what is strong axiom, etc. This is my first part. This from variant book is chapter 2 to 11, all chapters. By the way, no one suggests, but chapter 1 of variant is also very important. And chapter 2 of Snyder This is super important. I don't know. I think so in different versions it is different. But the chapter is Mathematics for Economics. Actually, this is the most important chapter of this book. Because this talks about what do you mean by convexity mathematically? What do you mean by open set? What do you mean by closed set? Right? So these mathematical definitions are given in this chapter. So this is very, very important chapter, irrespective of whatever you are preparing for. And then we have the producer theory. So you can do this from Snyder if you follow Delhi University syllabus. And this talks about what are isoquants, what is production in one or more variable, how do I define returns to scale, what is short run, what is long run, cost, and perfect competition. So this is how I define the syllabus for producer theory. So you begin with production function. By the way, by now you would know from maths what are level curves. I will use this concept here. It's not taught in a single college, but this is very important. You must know what are level curves to explain production function. We will do that. So we want to understand what is production function. What happens when I have a single variable? What happens when I convert this into two variables? How will I define my production function in that case? We go from production to isoquants, from isoquants to cost minimization, and then from cost minimization to duality theorem. And there we do profit maximization. Right? So this is how we will progress in the producer theory, and then we follow it by perfect competition. We do what are iso profit curves also. Rarely done in intrinsic in college, but very, very important topic. It comes in exam, but I've heard from many students that it is not discussed properly. So we'll actually derive its equation also. I'll do that, don't worry. We'll talk about most important thing, why this profit maximization can only be done for decreasing returns to scale function and not for IRS or CRS. Okay. Now, this is the second syllabus. Again, as I have been informing you, all details of this course are available on our website. At any point of time, whenever you want to go ahead and take up this course, you can ring us a call on 83686 63950. You can go ahead and download our app from Play Store, which is ArthaPoint, and from there get access to our sample videos, although they are available on YouTube also. This is the second course that you have to take. The third that we have is actually statistics, right? And when it comes to stats, there are huge number of units that you have to cover. It's a huge course. So my suggestion is join early. it's the most, third sem and fourth sem, they are the most rigorous and most difficult semesters which you have to pass. Most difficult. So now look here. First unit is an overview. That's simple. Distinguish between population, sample, population parameters, sample statistics. Second unit is probability. This is chapter 2 of DeVore. So in this, we will talk about what is conditional probability, what is the rule of independence, what are mutually exclusive events, what are mutually exhaustive events, all of that. Then the third unit is about random variables, right? So we will define the various distributions. Very, very, very important. We'll define uniform, binomial, exponential, Poisson, hypergeometric, and normal distribution. Now, a lot of students, they get confused between when to use exponential, when to use Poisson. So I'll tell you clear distinctions, when to use what. Then comes unit 4. Unit 4 is going to talk about what happens if I have joint distributions. So this is going to be talking about joint distribution of the random variable. And when it is a joint distribution, variables are jointly associated with each other, we need to talk about covariance and we need to talk about correlation. That's the next topic that we will talk about. Then we have point estimators. This has very important analysis of maximum likelihood method. How to find the parameters, which is thetas, through the MLE method. And finally, we will talk about unit 6, in which we will do hypothesis testing. We will go ahead and find the difference between type 1 error, type 2 error, what is false positive, what are false negative. How do you do Z test, T test, F test, chi-square test? What is p-value? All these important terms. Very, very rigorous. Most rigorous subject is statistics. You have to start early in stats. Okay. Now again, let me just tell you about it. It's going to be a hybrid batch, which means it would be online, live, plus recorded. This is going to give you access to the past year papers, mock test, and assignment questions. And you can look at our sample through the ArthaPoint website or the app. Finally, you can contact us at 83686-63950 in case you have any doubt or you want to clarify anything. My only suggestion that I have is, the early you join, the better it is. You know, many times students would come to us during the last 2 weeks, during the last 3 weeks, that you're anyways going to pay the fees, right? That means that we have less time to work on your doubts. We have, and most of the times when we close our batch and students come and request us that, you know, please take us into the batch, that is when you are spoiling your own, you know, marks, your own ranking. Please In case you want to go ahead, join the batch, join early. Even if not, if you want to do it yourself, start early. This is a very difficult semester. Do not put things till the very end. It's not like what you used to have. It's not the first or second semester. There's 3 subjects, micro, macro, and stats, in 3 months or 4 months. And all of this is going to be repeated in your entrance exam. So it's very, very important that you start now and you start thoroughly. Okay, thank you very much. Keep joining our channel. I would be posting more videos. I have already started a series on Snyder all question solutions. So do give us a like, subscribe our channel, and look into those also. Thank you.